When to physically be there. So if anyone's read the Index Ventures ebook on internationalizing, oh boy, I loved reading that thing. And they explained it this way. They said, when do you physically go globally? Well, and get preemptive. So get in the face of your prospects, have them learn about you in the right way. So first, there's the boots on the ground. How many people do you have to have on the ground to sell, deploy, support your customers? So an IoT company, for example, we needed to have electricians with screwdrivers that actually could like install something on a telephone tower, a cell tower, or a utility substation. What's the total addressable market in that geography? You know, is it small or is it big? Well, if it's a big addressable market, it's a growing market, and it's low boots on the ground, so you don't need to have people. The sooner that you do it, the better. That's how I see it. Now, you don't have to go crazy with it, but you do need to create your team as soon as possible and get them doing this work in parallel to all the other important work you're doing. Don't stop what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, but carve out a parallel track. Don't be sequential. Be parallel. It's equally good. It's actually better. And test and analyze your thoughts, and you can actually then move into an at-scale sales support, sales deploy and support model remotely. You can do a lot of it remotely, and you guys in Poland, you know most of this because you guys are really good, I think, at doing this international stuff. If you're going into a market that has low total addressable market and high boots on the ground requirements, well, anchor where you are. Keep doing what you're doing. At some point along the way, maybe in your Series A or your Series B, you can really dedicate that team. I mean, in any case, it's going to be the same initial half a year for these guys as it is for these guys. It's a small team. They're getting out into the field. They're collecting purposeful stuff. They're drilling into those double drill downs of the questions in the executives' heads in those foreign markets and identifying competitors they didn't realize were there that are substitutes for them, maybe even have a different architecture. Some people perceive it as a better architecture, a more long-term architecture. You got to battle with that. You got to sharpen your swords and be able to battle with it. So you can see that there's different scenarios. If you are, it's a high market, but requires, well, let's take the low boots on the ground, but a small market, then you want to be differentiating your product because, eventually you're definitely going to be there. You're going to need to focus there. But by the time you get there, there may be a ton of competition. So there's different ways of thinking about how and when you engage a market and you get into the physical side. And to me, what I like about this is it points back to what we're talking about here today, which is go out and get your act together and adapt your business a bit. I also want to say, as an American guy, look, I mean, the developing, the emerging markets, like 3 to 4x growth. So Latin America, and I mean, the U.S. of course is not the only market. Europe's not the only market. Those are the markets that I focus on. Okay, but there's obviously a ton of opportunity out there in the geographies. So in terms of the idea of selecting a market, there are it's somewhat intuitive, but there's certain characteristics. There's a bunch of reasons why you'd want to do it. In a way, if you're in the startup business and you're trying to get returns to your investors 5x in 5 years, which is what they want, then you got to be international. There's just no way.